Welcome back to NYSE TV Live. Well, today, New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Chief Technology Officer Matthew Frazier are hosting the city's first ever crypto summit. Industry leaders across the crypto, blockchain, and fintech industries will come together to discuss how the sector can boost the economy and inspire innovation throughout the city. Well, joining me now with more is Hadley Stern. He's the Chief Commercial Officer at Solana staking platform Marinade. Hadley, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
What are your expectations for this event?
So my expectations are really, this is a lot about bringing crypto back to America. So Solana Foundation typically does one big event every year. Last October, it was in Singapore. There's going to be an event at the end of the year in Abu Dhabi. And after the election and so much optimism about crypto, they decided to hold Solana Accelerate this week, which is a global event, but really about bringing back the crypto story back to where I think it should belong in many ways, which is the US.
Yeah.
So people coming back and talking about Solana and all the great things that are happening on that chain here in New York City for 1 week.
Where is it heading? Where is the acceleration going to take us?
The acceleration is going to take us to real world assets on blockchain. And we're seeing this right now with Solana. So things like stable coins are now being used largely on Solana. Real world assets like securities are being issued, BlackRock, Societe Generale. You're seeing TradFi really come to the Solana blockchain. At the same time as the TradFi elements, a lot is being built on the DeFi side of things as well.
Interesting. And in terms of how your company fits into this space, what can you tell us?
Sure. So this is kind of a fun one. I've been in this space 10 years, and it takes people a while to wrap their head around Bitcoin mining. What we do is we provide staking services. So blockchains like Ethereum and Solana, and about 35 to 40% of blockchains now are called proof of stake. And that means that instead of running miners to validate transactions, you stake, in this case, Solana to the network in order to run the network. And we provide those services to institutions and retail customers. We have about 2 billion of total value locked up, and we're growing aggressively in the institutional market as well.
Where do you think the prices of these tokens are heading?
Great question. I think Bitcoin itself is on the cusp of another rise. I mean, I've been long enough in this industry to remember when 10,000 was a stretch. And now that I think we've broken that 100,000 barrier, anything is up for grabs. And Bitcoin's a unique thing to price because it's a scarce resource. Things like Solana, really it's going to come down to how are these chains being used. So the way that I would approach Solana as an investor is almost like Amazon, as a tech stock or a tech chain, if you will. And there are various metrics that you can look at that are provided by companies like Flipside, where you can really dive into the adoption of these chains.
Interesting. I know you've referenced, obviously, here the focus that will be on Solana. How should our viewer think about Solana versus some of the other options within the space out there?
Great question. So I would think of Solana, I love Ethereum. I was there very early on. I used it. I kind of think of Ethereum as like the MVP, the minimum viable product for Solana. So I think investors should view proof of stake blockchains like Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, and others. And really, there's actually some great fundamental research you can do, kind of both qualitatively and quantitatively. Quantitatively, how much is the chain used? How much transactions flow through it every day? How are people actually using it? And then qualitatively, what companies are building on that chain? I mentioned Societe Generale, BlackRock, and others.
Interesting. And in terms of people you're looking to connect with this week, who are some of the heavy hitters that'll be in attendance?
Heavy hitters are people both on the TradFi side and the DeFi side, which is one of the fun things about being in this industry is it's two worlds. So we're very interested, and we have conversations underway with ETF manufacturers who want to create Solana staking ETFs, and we'll use companies like Marinade, and we have a little bit of a different model that's unique that we think is going to really resonate. So looking to talk to any ETF manufacturer out there, but also family offices, high net worth individuals who want to learn more about Solana. Solana staking, unlike Ethereum, you earn anywhere from something like 8 to 10%. And one of the things we really strive to get across in the staking business is that staking is not like lending or a complicated financial services product. It's a protocol activity. So if you own Solana, you should stake it. And if you stake it, you should stake it with Marinade.
All right. Hadley Stern, he's the Chief Commercial Officer at Marinade. Hadley, we so appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.